You're watching The World through Ayan.
Brought to you by Ayan Ahmed Studios.
When the whole world is getting in bed or going about their day, in one place, the sun is already rising to another day. At the east edge of Asia, upon the Pacific, this is the land of the rising sun. This is Japan. Welcome to Dubai. My name is Ayan, and Japan was one of the top locations on my bucket list. Among the various things Japan is known for, their culture, eccentric technology, and their long history in the animation industry, a very key natural landmark that can represent Japan as a whole towers 3,776 meters across an over 500-kilometer radius, Mount Fuji. During my trip preparation, I knew one thing was a necessity to me: to capture an amazing view of Mount Fuji. Through my research on what locations are easy to access, have what type of view, and which day would have the most ideal weather, I decided upon Lake Kawaguchiko. Through Google, I had a decent idea of what to expect. The mountain was visible from across the lake, simple enough, but I had no grasp of the adventure I was in for. So join me as I unravel my expedition to find Fuji. No matter how much research and knowledge I felt I acquired on Japan, it still caught me by surprise and wonder. Some of us dwell on leaving Earth and venturing through the stars in search of something new, when there's something new at every corner right here on Earth. There were complex train routes to Kawaguchiko, but in my research, I came across a bus booking site that had direct buses, so that handled transportation. The morning of the 15th came, and I headed out to Shinjuku Station, the most busiest train station on the entire planet, and I took my bus down towards the lake I had waited so long for. Along the way, I saw dozens of small towns and neighborhoods, something I had not been actively able to at this point, and eventually, I finally caught a glimpse of what I had coming: Mount Fuji. Weather conditions were seemingly in my favor, a clear sky, almost too clear, but it pretty much guaranteed my view of Mount Fuji. I arrived at Kawaguchiko Station. It was a simple rail station with a bus terminal behind it. The town was a small, humble little place. When you walk around the area closest to the town center, it's crowded, filled with tourists and locals alike. However, it wasn't hard to find solitude. Just a few meters away from the main hub, the crowd simmered down, and pretty soon, I was in an area with nobody. Clearly, this must be an unpopular day. Other than the occasional car, dog walker, and cyclist, it was just me. I turned around to marvel at the fantastic view of Mount Fuji, which wasn't there. There were large mountains surrounding the west side of Kawaguchiko, which I didn't think would end up blocking the 35th largest mountain on Earth. This was a setback. I'd come all this way, 8,000 kilometers across the globe, and nearly 3 hours from my hotel a few cities away to capture this view. I checked my bus ticket back, seeing how much time I had. It was a countdown to being able to catch that view of Fuji and make it back to the station on time for my bus. Nothing could go wrong, or I could risk being stuck in a town hours away from my hotel. I tried walking down a path that seemed to lead to a view out of the mountain's way, but it didn't work quite well. Beyond the horizon, I could only see a long road with no people, which didn't exactly seem like it would be the ideal hotspot for the perfect view. I decided to walk backwards, towards the town, where I had previously caught a glimpse of Fuji. The town almost seemed deserted, which I didn't mind. I then walked into an opening on the side of the road, and found another view of Mount Fuji. This place was the picture of being tranquil. Nothing but occasional cats and cars. Just me and my extremely silent view of Mount Fuji. I was glad that I could find this. Maybe I could even settle for this to be my main filming area. Maybe even my perfect image. But it really wasn't a perfect view. Leaving aside the large green construction type fence and clear view, There was nothing natural in the shot except Fuji in the back. I wanted more. I wanted the shot I saw online. I wanted to not only capture that, but see it for myself. This place was nice, but that shot was no closer to being taken. And I was walking the complete opposite direction, so I turned around. And the route I was taking slowly gained a lot more people, but eventually they dwindled down as well. I again reached a point where it was nothing but a long path and me. The sun was slowly going down, which was a concern I hadn't taken note of. The sun sets earlier in Japan at around 4:30. Would I be able to take my picture before it's dark out? I kept walking further and further. The paths changed and intertwined from concrete pavements, dirt paths, and rickety bridges. The extreme lack of people kept telling me that this might be the wrong way, and the main best view of Kawaguchiko wouldn't be empty. So I turned around at this point. The long trek away from town quickly changed for the better, as the peak of Mount Fuji started emerging from behind the mountain. I remember clearly how my walking pace increased instantly to see more and more of Mount Fuji, until I reached a small opening. I was seeing that amazing view with my own two eyes. I found Fuji. But this was just day 3 of my trip in Japan.